Hello dear students of class 10th, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are fit and fine. Students, in this video I shall be continuing with the 5th chapter of geography, that is minerals and energy resources. So students, in the previous video I had explained you about petroleum and natural gas, which are conventional sources of energy. So in this video I shall start with the next topic, that is non-conventional source of energy. See, what do you understand by non-conventional source of energy? I had already given you a short description about non-conventional source in the previous video. See, non-conventional means the energy that is available in abundance, or you can say the renewable source of energy. They are called as non-conventional sources of energy. The energy that is available in abundance. For example, solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy. If I talk about solar energy, then sun rays are unlimited. They are available in abundance, and especially if we talk about India. Is there any restriction? Is there any limitation to the use of sunlight? Is it restricted at only this amount we have to use? No, there is no restriction. So, the energy that is available in abundance or the renewable sources of energy are called as non-conventional sources of energy. So, I hope that this term is clear to everybody. Now, students, what is the need for non-conventional sources of energy, or what is the requirement? Why do we need to shift to, or why do we need to use the non-conventional sources of energy? See, we already have the conventional sources, for example, coal, petroleum, natural gas, electricity. Then why do we need to use these non-conventional sources? See students, if I talk about the conventional sources like coal, petroleum, natural gas, then they are limited, right? There is a limitation to their use. They are not found in abundance, and they take millions of years in order to form again. So the conventional sources, they are non-renewable. We can say that they are non-renewable, and we are largely, or I would say we are greatly dependent on the fossil fuels like coal, petroleum and natural gas in order to fulfill our needs. And since the population is growing, so the needs of the population will also grow, and we are thus using more and more fossil fuels. So what this will result in? See, if we are greatly and largely dependent on these fossil fuels or the conventional sources of energy, then these resources, they may deplete because the formation rate or the formation speed is very, very slow. So since we are using them in order to since we are greatly dependent on them, so there are chances that they may deplete. And also students, if I talk about these conventional sources of energy, then they also cause serious environmental problems or environment issues. They are not eco-friendly, they are not environment friendly, they are not a clean fuel. So they cause a lot of damage to the environment. But if I talk about the non-conventional sources of energy, then they are eco-friendly, they are environment friendly, they are clean fuel. They do not cause damage to the environment, and since they are available in abundance, so we can easily shift to non-conventional sources of energy. So that is why non-conventional sources of energy are required. Okay. Also students, one more point. Since we are greatly dependent on the non-renewable sources or the conventional sources, so what will happen since we are greatly dependent on it, and since they take a very long time to form again, so what will happen? There will be shortage of those conventional sources of energy, and if there will be shortage, then what will happen? Then the price will increase. So in every dimension, it is not friendly, neither it is friendly for human beings nor it is friendly to the environment. So there is a dire need or requirement that we need to shift to the non-conventional sources of energy, because since it is available in abundance, it is very cheap. Or if I talk about all the non-conventional sources, they are almost very cheap and they are available in abundance, and they do not pollute the environment. So we need to shift to the non-conventional sources of energy in order to save our environment, in order to save the future of the energy that can be used. So we need to shift to the non-conventional sources of energy. So I hope that this is clear to everybody. Now students, I'll be explaining you about the examples of non-conventional sources of energy like nuclear or atomic energy, then solar energy, wind energy, biogas, tidal energy and geothermal energy. So first let's start with the first one, that is nuclear or atomic energy. Now see, through nuclear or atomic energy, or this type of energy is used to generate electricity in an efficient manner without damaging the environment, without causing damage or destruction to the environment. Why? Because it is a clean fuel, it is a safe fuel. So that is why electricity is generated from nuclear or atomic energy. Now how is electricity generated from nuclear or atomic energy? See, electricity is generated by altering the structures of electricity is generated by altering the structure of atoms like uranium and thorium. So by doing alterations or by doing modifications in the structure of these atoms, electricity is generated. But now how it is done? See, when alteration is done or when modification is done, then energy is released, and this energy is released in the form of heat, and this heat is used to generate electricity by rotating turbines. Now see what happens. Heat is used to boil water, and from that water get converted into steam. Okay, if water is boiled, then what happens? It gets converted into steam, and that steam turns the blades of the turbines. Turbines are placed, and through that steam the blades of the turbines are rotated, and then those turbines, they drive generators that makes electricity. So you understood how electricity is generated through nuclear or atomic energy. So this way electricity is generated from the heat. What happens? From that heat or from the steam, the turbines are rotated, and those turbines, they drive generators that make electricity. So I hope nuclear or atomic energy is clear to everybody. Now students, let me tell you the areas where nuclear or atomic energy is generated. See, it is found in these nuclear or atomic energy plants are found in Jharkhand, then the Aravalli ranges of Rajasthan and the monazite sands of Kerala. See, if I talk about monazite sands of Kerala, then they are rich in thorium. Please remember this point, that monazite sands of Kerala are rich in thorium. So I hope the first source of energy, the first non-conventional source of energy is clear to everybody. Now students, I will be coming to the next non-conventional source of energy, that is solar energy. Now we will see that how from sun electricity is generated. Students, solar energy means the energy that is received from sun in the form of sunlight. So that type of energy or that energy is called as solar energy. Let me tell you that solar energy is one of the most cleanest and environment friendly fuel. It is a clean and environment friendly fuel, and since sunlight is available in abundance, it will not finish. It will be present and since sunlight is present in abundance, so it will not finish. So the energy that we get from sun or sunlight is called as solar energy. Now see, here the sunlight is utilized for generating electricity. Now how electricity can be generated from sunlight? See, this is done with the help of photovoltaic technology, which is called, you can say, PV technology. Now what is this photovoltaic technology? See, the photovoltaic technology, it converts sunlight directly into electricity. This PV technology or photovoltaic technology, it is a technology that uses solar radiation to produce electricity. So with the help of this PV technology or photovoltaic technology, sunlight is directly converted into electricity. Now students, you must have seen solar plates in your area or in any area. If you have not seen, you can see here. These are solar plates, and with the help of solar plates only, sunlight is converted into electricity. These solar plates, they absorb the sunlight using PV technology, using photovoltaic technology, and then further it is converted into electricity, as the PV technology directly converts sunlight into electricity. So this way electricity is generated from sunlight. And you know students, this way or this source of energy, this is bringing relief in several rural and household or remote areas, because in remote areas electricity is generally not there, poles are not there. So how can electricity be? The means are not there, the basic means. So with the help of solar energy, electricity can be produced, and households can really benefit, or they can get relief from solar energy. And students, let me tell you that students, before the usage of solar energy, the rural households or the people living in remote areas, they were largely dependent on firewood and dung cakes. Why? For their fuel requirement. And as a result of which, what happened? They used to cut more and more trees, and they used to burn cow dung. And by burning cow dung, what is produced? Methane is produced, which leads to environmental damage. But now with the introduction or with the usage of solar energy, they are no more dependent on dung cakes and firewood in order to get their fuel. So this way, dung cakes or the cow dung that can be used that can be used as manure in agriculture. So the dependence on firewood and dung cakes have been reduced with the emergence of solar energy. Since this is a clean fuel, this is a cheap, I would say this is also a cheap source of generating electricity, since it is available in abundance. So I hope students, solar energy is clear to everybody. Now students, let's move to the next non-conventional source of energy, that is wind energy. Now we will see that by using wind, how electricity can be generated. See, wind, if I talk about wind energy, then it is also a clean energy, as there is no damage to the environment. No damage is caused to the environment, and electricity is produced from wind. Only installation charge is bit high, it is high, so but there is no damage to the environment. There is no pollution caused by generating electricity from wind to the environment. And students, in this, the potential of wind is utilized to generate electricity. You know that energy or that potential is used in the generation of electricity by rotating the windmills. As you can see in the on the screen, these are the windmills. And what happens? The blades of the windmill, they move from the wind, and when the blades move, what happens? Energy is produced, and that energy is used to generate electricity. So this way the potential of wind is used to generate electricity, and this generation of electricity from wind is called as wind energy, because we are using the potential of wind in order to generate electricity, in order to generate energy. So this type of energy is called as wind energy. Okay. Now students, the largest wind farm cluster, it is in Tamil Nadu from Nagarcoil to Madurai. Please remember this. This is an important point, that from Tamil Nadu to that from Madurai to cut this line, that in Tamil Nadu there is the largest wind farm cluster. Okay, and there are states like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra. These are some of the prominent states where wind energy is produced. So I hope wind energy is clear to everybody. Now students, in the next video I'll be explaining you about the next non-conventional source of energy, that is biogas. Till then, thank you so much and be safe.